Welcome to Factoring Binomials. Let's go ahead and get started on some problems. Let's say I have an expression 2x squared plus 28x. So we have to factor this binomial. The principle for factoring binomials, and as we'll talk about in later videos, polynomials such as trinomials, and more. The principle is the same. What we are trying to do is find two factors or find factors that are common to both terms. So in this first term, we have a 2 as a coefficient, and second term we got 28. A common factor or a common number between both of these is going to be the number 2. And looking at the variables, we got x squared and x. What we can factor out of both of those is a single x, so we can get an x out of both of those. And so what we'll do, we're going to put that 2x on the outside. And on the inside of parentheses, we're going to just deal with what we have left after we factor out this 2x. 2x squared divided by 2x, that's going to leave us with x. So boom, we're going to put that right there. And 28x divided by 2x, that's going to leave us with a positive 14. And this is our complete factorization of this expression. Let's move on to another example. 19x minus 57x. We can divide both of these terms by 19. And so we'll put that 19 on the outside of the parentheses. After we divide both of these by 19, 19x divided by 19 is just going to leave us with an x term. Excuse me. Boom. We put the x term. That's what we're left with after we divide that first term by 19. After we divide this second term by 19, as a matter of fact, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, we're fine. So after we divide this second term by 19, we're going to be left with a negative 3x. And this is our answer for number 2. 19 times x minus 3x. These are the two factors that give you the original expression right here. Let's move on to the next example. 12y cubed minus 18y to the 5th power. What can we... So we can divide the two coefficients by 3. We can divide 12 by 3 and 18 by 3 pretty cleanly. So what else? We can divide y cubed out of both of these as well. And so that's what we're going to do. So we'll put the 3y cubed on the outside of the parentheses right there. And again, what's on the inside of the parentheses, we're dealing with these binomials, is what is the aftermath of after we divide, or after we factor out. So after we divide 12y cubed by 3y cubed, what we have left over is 4. And looking at this second term, when we divide negative 18 by 3, we get a negative 6. And when we divide y to the 5th power divided by y to the 3rd power, we just subtract the top exponent from the bottom, or excuse me, rather we subtract the bottom exponent from the top exponent. So that's just going to be y squared. Close that. I'll live with that. But so this is our answer: 3y cubed times 4 minus 6y squared. This is what we multiply these. Just to kind of clarify, what we're doing is multiplying these two expressions. When you multiply 3y squared times 4 minus 6y, what you get is our original expression: 12y cubed minus 18y to the 5th power. Next example. Let's see. 3x to the 4th power plus 9x excuse me, squared. So let's see. Out of these coefficients, I know we can get factor 3 out of both of those coefficients, and out of the two variables, we can factor out x squared. So we're gonna put that on the outside of the parentheses. And the aftermath, after we divide this, we're gonna be left with x squared for that left term. And we're gonna be left with a positive 3 on the right term. So this this is the factorization for our expression 3x to the 4th plus 9x squared. Nine x squared excuse me, plus 5x. So these two coefficients, 9 and 5, there's nothing that we can, there's no common factor between 9 and 5 other than 1. And that really ain't gonna help us. So we're not going to do anything with those two coefficients. So we're going to now look at the variable and see if it's anything that we can factor out of the variable. And it is. We can divide both of these terms by x because they both contain at least one x. So again, we'll put that on the outside of the parentheses, and then we'll look at the aftermath of what happens. So when we divide 9x squared by x, what we are left with is just a 9x to the 1st power. But I'll just leave the degree off of that. And the same thing going for 5x divided by x. that is just going to leave us with a positive 5. And so this is the factorization of 9x squared plus 5x. Excuse me. Next example is 3x squared minus 108. So again, same principle. What can we factor or divide out of both of these terms? And both of these terms, they can be divided by a 3. So we'll go ahead and do that, and we'll put 3 on the outside of our parentheses, and then on the inside, we'll put deal with the aftermath. So after we divide this 3x squared by 3, what we are left with is just an x squared term. And when we divide negative 108 by 3, what we get is a negative 36. And this is the factorization for 3x squared minus 108.